Hey, here we are again, America. Deer Hunter DVM coming back at you again. December the 4th. Real quick update on where the rut is at. I've been scouting the last few mornings before work, right at daybreak, up until about the 7 o'clock hour or so. And the activity we're seeing through the binoculars and spotting scopes, pretty laid back, really. I'm not really seeing a whole lot of rutting activity. The rut's pretty much dwindled down to its final ebb. But I will tell you that there are some folks still seeing the occasional buck dog and a doe, which is not uncommon for this time of year. You get a late cycling doe in early December, typically a young doe, and you can still see some activity, but the vast majority of the whitetails I've been seeing here in the last few days have been feeding pattern deer. Deer out on their feet in standing beans, or shelled cornfields, pretty common stuff. The bucks that I have seen have been few and far between. The ones I have seen are very slow and draggy. You can just tell that they're tired. And I feel like the strategy I got going in, our firearm season opens back up tomorrow, and it runs Thursday through Sunday for our second firearm. And I've been chasing a fairly large typical in a certain piece of timber that is very difficult to access and work with. It's very, very challenging. So I have seen him as recent as 5 days ago, and he was with a doe then, probably one of the last ones in that area to cycle. And you know, I went ahead and crowded him a little bit with a few stands. So now I've got 4 stands in that area that I hung reasonably covert. Didn't bump him out, didn't bump anyone out really, but I am satelliting his bed, or what I feel like is his bedding core. I've actually kind of thrown doe-centric strategy away for the rest of the year. Again, still not uncommon to get the occasional doe cycle, but it's going to be few and far between. So kind of abandoning doe-centric strategy, not hunting really around doe bedding areas. You know, I'm really keying in on one thing here, and that is that buck's recovery from the rut. I'm actually going to crowd his bedding area ever so slightly and get in there within 100, 125 yards or so, and just hope that we either catch him on a feeding pattern coming back to bed in the morning, or coming back out of the food source of an evening. So that seems to be what I would figure to be the best strategy that I know how to play this time of year, especially with the firearm. I would love to get my chomps into that deer. He is a giant. I think he's probably in the 80s. Very big typical. We don't make them that way very often around here. So whether we get sub-zero or not, it's not going to be for lack of trying, because we are going to be the next 4 days. Myself and my boy and the Wyatt, we are all 3 going to be in there after him, and if he slips up, maybe one of us will lay the hammer on him. So in other news, I got to talk about something real quick here. I don't want to run long on this video, and I hope everybody stays with this and watches this, because I need to talk about something that's fairly important to me, and it should be fairly important to you guys as whitetail hunters out there, and that is just some of the stuff that I've seen lately on social media. Everybody has seen and heard, anybody that knows about deer hunting and has Facebook have seen and heard about the 2 boys from young kids from Pennsylvania that did some very inappropriate things to a wounded buck before you know, before he expired. And that saddens me. You know, that's the state of social media / kids that hunt. I don't think those kids really appreciated what they were doing at the time, but I'm sure they do now. And I'll just leave it at that. Everybody knows probably where I'm going to stand on something like that, and I do not condone inappropriate, disrespectful, and heartless behavior towards the prey that we were after. I don't like that at all, and they don't speak for the normal sportsmen that are out there. Their actions are very individualized there, and they've made their bed, and I hope they have to lay in it. At the same time, I'm not calling for their own public hanging. I don't feel like they should be boiled in oil and their own fat sold for soap. I don't agree with that. These kids are young kids. They make mistakes. We all made mistakes when we were younger. And I hope they learn from this. I hope they grow from it. And I hope it doesn't deter them from maturing into proper sportsmen. However, I do think they should be punished, and I hope they get punished to the fullest extent of the law. That being said, and that's all I'm going to comment on that situation. I feel like social media creates this problem, okay, when it comes to what's posted on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. I think there are some hunters out there that sometimes post things that are either very negative towards other hunters. You know, they use social media as a negativity tool, and I don't care for that. You know, there's always, you know, bow hunters are always bashing gun hunters on social. Recurve guys are bashing compound guys. Compound guys are bashing gun hunters. All the archery guys are bashing crossbow hunters. And it's just one big bash fest, and a lot of people will say, well, you should have gave that deer another year, or you shoot small deer, and it's just super negative. Everybody's an expert, and everybody's hiding behind a keyboard, and it's just bullshit. I just don't, it creates negativity around something that I really enjoy, which is chasing mature whitetails. And that is not for me. I don't like that, and I hate the fact that there's so many people out there that just run their mouth through a keyboard. And so I feel like the social media culture around deer hunting can help create those problems like we had with those kids out in Pennsylvania. They see all kinds of stupid crap being posted on social media. Stuff that is some people think is funny, other people may find offensive. And, you know, giving you an example, I was just cruising through social media last night, just trying to pick out examples of this. One example was a satire video, some guy running around in a red one-piece Long John Union suit with one of those stupid goofy hats on, talking with a redneck accent, and spitting tobacco, and he made fun of shooting a deer, and he actually fired his gun, ran into the timber, and he was holding an already mounted head of a deer. And it was just some big joke to him, which, again, if that's your sense of humor, fine. But I thought it to be a little bit disrespectful because it painted us hunters as just dumbass rednecks. You know, that doesn't do it for me. I saw another video, kind of a spoof video, that actually had a dead deer in it, which I didn't care for. Some guys from one of the southern states on a deer drive had shot what looked to be a doe fawn. The thing probably weighed about 40-50 pounds. And they had her splayed over a log, and the guy was behind the log talking about his kill and kind of that dumbass redneck accent that they'll do when they're trying to be funny. And the guy stood up behind the log to point the direction of where he was shooting, and he didn't have any pants on. Like, he just baring his ass and showing his underwear, hiked up his crack. That's not funny to me. And I'm not the fun police, right? I'm not the fun police. If that's funny to you, fine. And I don't hate you for that sense of humor that you have. But for me, that's so inappropriate. I mean, an animal just died, and you're making fun of it. And that's just so goddamn disrespectful to me that I just don't like crap like that. And I don't like those joking posts that people put online about the culture of deer hunters. And I think all these videos and inappropriate posts, I've also seen people post selfies with dead deer, like, or I've seen a guy that is posing with his dead deer, like a photo shoot, like, feeling cute, might eat backstraps later. Like, that's all like right on the edge of being offensive to me. And I don't, again, I'm sorry this is running long, but this is important to me. You're never going to see me post anything on social media that other people who are either non-hunters or young kids getting into hunting might find offensive or strange or disrespectful to the game. Like, Even field photos. I see guys taking field photos where they are just holding the decapitated head of a deer with fur still on it. It just looks awful. Or I see guys actually sitting on their dead deer, like an easy chair holding the rack up. I just think that just looks tasteless. And again, I'm not the fun police, and I'm not shooting on how other people manage their social media content or whatever, but I need to be perfectly clear here, and this is the whole point that I'm trying to get at. If you look at many decades ago, around the turn of the century, around late 1800s, early 1900s, there was almost zero deer left in the continental U.S. There was literally near extinction of the wild turkey. There wasn't hardly any waterfowl left. There wasn't hardly any elk left, and we had decimated the bison to full-on extinction, okay? And we did that because we forgot, as a nation, as a hunter's culture, that our actions and ramifications can lead to the demise of the species that we enjoy chasing. So when you lose sight of the importance of the game you're chasing, if you don't have a certain small amount of reverence and respect for the game that you're chasing, then we're liable to kill them all off into extinction like we did in the early 1900s. We have to stop that attitude. That's what led to all the game laws that we've had to enact, so we protect species now. Cavalier attitudes towards the game that we chase leads to nothing good. So, again, I'm not the fun police, and I'm not shooting on anyone, and I'm not calling anyone out, but at the same time, I need everybody to think about the things they post, and just do me a favor, and the rest of us as hunters a favor. Try to paint us all in a favorable light for those who may not be hunters, or those kids that are trying to get into hunting. Be a good example. Cherish the game that you chase. Have respect for the game that you chase, and don't make a big joke out of it, okay? And final thought that I'm going to leave you with, I try not to take myself too seriously. I really don't. I have a good sense of humor. I like to crack up and joke as much as the next guy. But I take whitetail hunting very seriously, and it's a big part of my life, and I really enjoy it, and it enriches my life. So I don't want to see anything damage that portion of my life because of how much I enjoy it. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this. I know I'm running long. I'm going 13 minutes, and you guys have all probably dropped out by now, but that's okay. I just had to get this off my chest, post it, and get it out there so everyone knows my thoughts and feelings on the matter. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, tuning in. Good luck everybody out there in Illinois during your second gun seasons. I know I'll be after them hard, and hope you guys are too. And I'll keep you posted on the next 4 days of our activity. You guys take care. Have a good day. Shoot straight.